My name is Jared Sawyer. I teach math. I've taught the math topics from Algebra 1, Geometry, Honors Geometry, CP Algebra 2, CP Pre-Calculus, AP Calculus, and Linear Algebra. Yes, I use the flipped classroom in Honors Geometry.
When you use the flipped classroom for your class, how did you find the experience for yourself by incorporating technology into your class?
When I used the flipped classroom, incorporating the technology was definitely useful. It was a little bit challenging to try to set up my videos. I wanted them running no longer than 10 minutes. So planning a good lesson that had all the information that I needed in the time frame that I had wanted was a little bit of a challenge. Making the video was not too terrible. It took a little bit of time, but no more than normal planning would for any lesson. And in the long run, I have that for all of my lessons, so I like the outcome of using technology.
How did you feel the students perceived it?
My students loved it. Most of my students loved it. There were a few students in the course that could not get the access to it at home for different reasons. Some of them did not have access to a computer. Others were in trouble with their parents, and their parents would not let them online even though it was for a school assignment. But we were able to work our way around those certain situations in my class, and my students benefited from it.
Do you feel it was time consuming?
This project was slightly time-consuming initially, but as time goes on, as I teach the same course, I'm going to be able to reuse the same lesson, and in the long run, I think it will save me some time.
Overall, do you feel the lesson was effective using the flipped classroom?
Absolutely. My results were positive, so the flipped classroom was absolutely effective. I only had a small sample, and there are a couple other variables that I had thought of, like just presenting the lesson in a new way probably entice some of the students to try a little bit harder, but I do incorporate some of the progress that my students made towards the flipped classroom.
Would you use the flipped classroom again?
I would use the flipped classroom again in the future. If I have the time to prepare and the resources, I absolutely would.
Is there any other social media that you would use or have used for your class that you find useful?
Yes, social media I think is a powerful tool for classrooms. I have used Facebook groups that I think are very effective for students to have access. I've used something called Remind 101 that sends out texts to students. They cannot reply, but it just allows them, and it also goes to their parents, just to remind test dates and homework assignments for each day.